Welcome back to our series on digital transformation and law. This is our fourth video about fake content, in particular fake news. In our last video, we talked about why people believe fake news and how fake content can be identified. In this video, I'm joined by my colleague Katharina Schwalke. Today we will take a look at which laws regulate fake content. So let's dive right in. The EU has recognized the pressing need for regulating fake content, yet it does not have one fake content law in place. So what kind of legal framework are we looking at in the EU?
To address fake content, the EU has several key legal frameworks in place. As you mentioned, none of these laws specifically address disinformation or fake content. However, they deal with pressing issues related to different forms of fake content. Let's just quickly have a look at the most important ones. The key law in this respect is the Digital Services Act, short DSA, a sort of horizontal framework that applies to any online intermediary service. The main objective of it is to create a safer online space across the entire EU. It contains numerous obligations for digital service providers and tackles illegal content. This includes disinformation such as defamation. Secondly, we have the European Media Freedom Act, or short EMFA. It is designed to safeguard media independence and pluralism within the EU. It aims primarily to protect journalists and free media and to protect society from harmful content, including disinformation and foreign information manipulation and interference. Another important legislation is the Political Ads Regulation. It addresses the transparency and targeting of political advertising in the context of an election, referendum, or legislative process within the EU. It aims to enhance the ability of users to identify disinformation and political campaigns. The last one I want to highlight is the Strengthened Code of Practice on Disinformation dating from 2022. This is a voluntary self-regulatory framework that many tech platforms have signed. It commits them to improved fact-checking, labeling false information, and increased transparency in political advertising, for instance.
So this means disinformation or fake content does not fall under one specific regulation, and there is no uniform definition of the term disinformation. But how is fake content covered by EU law then?
Firstly, correct. There is no uniform definition of disinformation across the mentioned legal frameworks in the EU. The most important regulation dealing with fake content is the DSA. And for fake content to fall under the DSA, it must be illegal. In other words, it must violate EU law or the laws of a member state. This could be, for example, defamation or libel that can target individuals or entities. Those two are closely connected to hate speech. For example, if a user on a social media platform posts a video that glorifies violent attacks on a religious minority, calling for others to take similar actions. This can violate a number of regulations intended to prohibit incitement to violence or hatred. Another important category is public health and safety, where false information can endanger public welfare. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, posts on social media falsely claimed that vaccination would increase the risk of infection, or that microchips will be implanted with the vaccination, with the intention of preventing people from being vaccinated. These and other fake news were refuted by government agencies and fact-checkers who are educating people about vaccinations. Besides these and other national laws, fake content may also violate EU law, such as consumer protection laws. For example, exaggerated, misleading, or false advertising claims made to consumers can violate EU rules against unfair commercial practices.
So my three takeaways for today are: first, fake content is not covered by one specific law, but rather addressed through the EU legal framework and existing legal concepts. There is no single legal definition of fake content or disinformation. Second, the EU addresses this issue through a mix of voluntary measures like the Code of Practice on Disinformation and binding regulations like the Digital Services Act, DSA. Third, fake content is only covered by the DSA if it is illegal under EU law or the laws of a member state. Thank you for watching. If you want to be the first to see our next video where we'll be talking about the different legal ways to tackle fake content under the DSA. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. See you next time.